with deep experience in package systems and performance critical engineering. So today he will present Event Horizon, an AI-assisted Drupal, so that turns complex code bases into clear visual insights. So please welcome Souvik Pal.
Thank you. Thank you. The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. So, Robert Frost is someone very dear to my heart, and I always try to find a poetic resemblance with everything. So, it was a similar experience with the code bases as well, like in a not true sense, in the not most honest sense, but I also have spent multiple sleepless nights understanding code bases, understanding the complexities of it when I'm onboarded into a new project. This has been always very challenging, like to each and every one of us, whether we are developers, whether we are preparing something for the pre-sales activities, or whether we are from the business side, as well as the clients as well. Like they don't get the whole picture of it. So this is something that I have built, a proof of concept on understanding and analyzing the intricacies of a particular code base. This is framework agnostic. You don't need a particular system to run this on, completely made on Python. So you will be able to run it on Mac, Linux, or Windows as well. It is completely set up with Docker itself. So it takes care of all the containers and all the necessary packages altogether. Like we have seen in a black hole, I always try to relate it to the movie Interstellar, right? Uh, Cooper did not know what was there in the singularity. It took some time in recognizing like the intricacies, how he needs to do things, how it can be done. So in a similar approach, we also like. And over here, as you will see, there is a diagrammatic representation of a black hole in the most simplest form, where this is supposed to be the event horizon. This is the singularity, the most complex structure of a black hole, similar to the code bases in Drupal itself. Having a glance at it is not enough. So if you're standing back, taking a step back, trying to understand, trying to visualize how it'll look, it makes things much more simpler in that true sense. So let's see how the project goes. I will start with the demo itself. I particularly did not want to do a PPT on this because I wanted it to be a little bit interactive, like to show the capabilities that it can have instead of just some static slides. So here I have a demo project configured. If I scroll down, you will be able to see the projects that are configured over here. Right now, for demo purposes, I have only one project, but I have been analyzing this particular app with multiple code bases, and it looks fabulous in my in my opinion. So let's see. You will get an overview when you add a new project to this application. The way to do it is from the settings menu. You have to specify a parent directory over here. After that, if that parent directory is consisting of multiple code bases, then you can go to manage projects. You can provide the project name, the parent directory, that's optional as well, the project root path, the custom module path, contrib module path, and the configuration sync directory. Why did I do this in this way? So that any kind of Drupal code bases could be analyzed. If I had made a generic kind of app to take in a Drupal code base and try to analyze that, multiple code bases have the code in maybe web folder, it might be in the doc root folder, the modules might be in a profiles folder altogether. So this negates that dependency altogether. Once you add a project, it will be available over over here in manage projects itself. Like you can see, after I've added the demo project, it is available over here. I will go to the home page now and show you the informations that it is being displayed. Okay, like the total modules. Just at a glance, you will be able to see like if the project needs some kind of immediate attention to it, the project held at the Drupal version, and when it was last analyzed. Let's get into it. Okay, this is something that I've thought about with the similar lines. So this will first of all at the very initial step give you an overview of the project complexity. From this, you will be able to understand, okay, the modules that are there, the custom modules that have been used compared to the contrib modules, how much dependency factor is in within the modules itself, the module distribution, the performance health of the project in its entirety, the vulnerability posture, so that I can show the capabilities. That's why you see these numbers quite high. If I scroll down a little bit, this is a list of the custom modules and contrib modules. I haven't configured Conf modules in this case because there were a lot of Conf modules and it would end up taking a lot of time to analyze for the demo. If I go down a little bit, you will be able to see there are multiple tools over here. Each tool has its own implementation or has its own feature, as we can say. The project initially sprouted from the idea of me trying to solve the problem I was having when getting onboarded to a new project from the initial phase of my career. That is to understand the code base, to visualize, to try to see like how they are interlinked, how a function is interlinked, how the services dependency are maintained, how many custom modules are over there. That is why, first of all, I implemented the mind map. So over here, you will be able to see, I can zoom in as well, how the custom modules are related to each other. Okay, you can like drag it around as well if you want to play with it. This has been completely integrated with d3.js. If I click on a particular custom module, let's say this project feature custom checkout, it will provide me two options: the functions that there are and the services that it contains. Let me click on the functions. Once I click on the functions, you would be see the entire mind map over here of the functions in that particular custom module. Now, when I click on a particular function, you would be able to see where it is originating from, the file, the line number, where it is being called right now, and you can search for for a particular function as well. If I try to search for checkout validate, you would be able to do that as well. Now, coming to the other aspect of services. If I go into services, you will be able to see the services that there are in the custom module itself. If I click on a particular node, it will show you the dependencies that there are, if it is being used by any other module, and its definition. Now let me go back once again to another tool. Circular dependency is something which we try to visualize, but it is often missed at certain times. If you're working in a project for a long amount of time, then you might be aware of the circular dependencies that there are in the project. But when you're getting onboarded in the initial phase, or let's say for a particular pre-sales activity or for a particular client, you're trying to analyze the intricacies in module dependencies or function dependencies, this can help you out. For this, we use the tool circular dependency mind map functions. Okay. So over here, it is a little bit vague over here because of the white background and the light, but you will be able to see the dotted lines connecting each other and how they're connected in a circular form. In a similar kind of fashion, you will be able to get the information after clicking a particular node as well, where it is coming from, which module, how many dependencies are there, it is being called by how many functions or which functions, and the circular dependency path, how it is being used, how the execution flow is happening, and if the dependency is low, medium, or high based on the severity. If I go back, there is another tool, dependency info, which will give you the tabular information on the same circular dependency over here that we have seen. Like you can see over here, we have these two particular functions which are being reported to be high and low, circularly dependent upon each other. We have module coupling options as well, where it will give you the information of the functions. A score of 100 means that there are not many or not much circular dependencies for that particular module. Coming to the fourth tool, we have performance analysis. Now, this is something that we have faced recently in the past. Previous to that as well, I have faced myself, and my team has faced this as well. Like, let's say supposedly a client comes to us asking for performance improvements that can be made to a site. It is often very much required that we already know, because we are experts in this, like what all can be done. But if there is a particular tool which you can run for like just 5 seconds and gives you the report based on that, you will be able to analyze it furthermore without spending much more time on it. For that, I have built the performance analysis tool. If we open it, it will analyze all the custom modules that there are, and based on the severity, it will show you the issues in it. Like there are no high severity issues as of right now over here, but there is a medium priority one over here. As you can see, that some printing code, some DPM code is over there. In a similar fashion, if we go to vulnerability scan, you will be able to see the vulnerability posture of the particular code base. So over here, as we can see, like it is showing that there's one vulnerability in this code, in this particular file, and in this line. Now, mind you, I'm not looking at the code base. I haven't opened VS Code throughout all of this. That's the main point. I don't need to have to send the code base to someone, let's say a developer or the resource that I have to align. If I am from the pre-sales team, I can take a look at it based on the code base provided by the client then and there itself. Then we have another tool, caching suggestions. Caching is something that gets often missed out, right? We have to analyze the code ourselves to understand how it is working, what kind of caching implementations have been done. But if there is a tool available, not just to give you some generic advice, but based on the project or based on the code base, it would be a welcoming change. So if we click on caching suggestions, it will show you where all caching can be improved throughout the code base. Okay, there is supposed to be caching issues, but since I have the demo project, not a real code base, that's why I forgot to maybe integrate some vulnerabilities from my own side. Okay, but you will be able to see suggestions as well, along with the file path and the particular code which is reported. Coming to another tool, configuration validation. This is another important aspect. There are many broken references in a project that we find, many lone dependencies which are not being used at all, but we keep on neglecting that or ignoring that, and later on it piles up to a huge amount where we have to refactor the entire code base. If we can do a certain analysis to understand if there are any broken references, it would be nice enough to treat it at that point itself. Like over here, you will be able to see there are broken reference being reported for multiple entities, for multiple fields over here. There are other custom rule sets as well. If it was present, it would be showing over here as well. Now coming to how we are using this data. Okay, let's say we have the performance analysis, we have analyzed it, we have scanned the project for vulnerabilities, caching suggestions, configuration validations. What if a client comes to you and says, okay, can you provide me something that we can do in the site in the next 1 hour itself, maybe some kind of report or some kind of suggestions that you might have? For that, I have best practices tool. If I go to best practices, based on this particular code base, it will be able to analyze the complete code base and not just provide you with a generic advice, but industry standard benchmarks can be provided from over here. As you can see, like I have a industry benchmark section over here to visualize where does this code base lie right now itself. For the security posture, as you can see, it is saying below average. So this is something that we need to take a look at. This is something that we can recommend to the client or to the teams itself. The code architecture that can be revamped, the code maintainability can be improved, and Drupal standard compliance. This is not at all compliant, I would say, because it is below average. So these few factors can be taken a look at. If you want to jump further into it, you will be able to see the metrics for these particular instances. Like for security posture, SQL injection prevention is reported over here. If I click on the details, I will be able to see it is 100. That means it is nice. XSS prevention, yeah. You will be able to see which file it is talking about, which line of code, and what is the issue exactly. It says that it's directly assigning user input or dynamic variables to markup can lead to excessive vulnerabilities. Similarly, for the other metrics as well, let's say in performance optimizations, I have asset aggregation and optimization. If I click on the details, I will be able to see what it is talking about. Similarly, for the other metrics as well. Then I have a top recommendations section. It will show you the affected files and what can be improved inside this. Now, coming to the most important aspect, all of this is happening statically. You do not need AI for this. I don't want you to use AI for this, because often at times we get clients who do not want to expose their data to the AI, right? So you will be able to do all of this without AI itself. But if the client is comfortable with using a particular LLM or if they have a resource to host their own LLM in a local host, you can do that as well and dive deeper into it. For that, I will take you once again to the homepage itself. I will go to the settings section. Over here, you will see that I have AI models configuration. If I go into it, there are a few configurations that you can provide for different LLM providers like Gemini, OpenAI, Anthropic. We also have the option to host local LLMs and use them like Olama. Once you have provided the API keys for a particular project and you go into this analysis tool for the code base itself, you might have noticed this AI button over here. it is present throughout the application on all the pages. It is also scanning the data from the config sync directory of a particular project. It is storing that data. It is understanding it as well. Let's say I ask it how many content types are there, only mention the machine names and nothing else. Just for the demo purposes, I'm doing a very basic query. We can do intricate queries as well. Like if we know the name of a particular function, where is it used in the custom modules, or let's say where is a particular field used in views, so that we can get to see the dependency of all the all the views that there are for that particular field. Over here, you will be seeing that there are three content types reported: landing page, simple news, issue, and events. So it has the context of what is there in the site. It has the context of what you want to do. If I want to ask about a particular piece of code, it will be able to do that as well, give you the complete code for that particular section, let's say for a particular function, without any issues, without it breaking a parenthesis or let's say a semicolon. It will give you the entire piece of code from over here. Along with that, you have the option to choose from multiple LLM providers that you have already configured and begin with it. Later on, what I have thought of implementing is, instead of providing the direct name of the LLMs, maybe have something like, this is best for code analysis, this is best for performance analysis, and a particular agent which is best for, let's say, a best practices analysis, so that users have a better visibility on which tool to use particularly, because they might get confused on this. And all the reports that you see over here, like let's say the performance analysis, the vulnerability scan, caching suggestions, configuration validations, best practices analysis, everything is downloadable as CSV and XLS from this point itself. So you can have that data on your laptop, show it to the team, maybe show it to the clients as well, for better visibility and continued conversation. Because I feel when a client comes to us, there is a particular time, there is a particular what to say, gap that needs to be filled within that communication. We need to grab the attention of the client then and there itself, so that we can proceed with it, so that we can keep them engaged, like the other sites or LLM providers or any other websites do, right? When we are trying to leave, they do that at that particular instance. But when we are visiting the page for the first time, let's say for next Netflix, it tries to show us the best possible shows that there are, the top recommendations. Maybe this is a gap that can be filled, so that we can quickly analyze and show the client all these details to get them engaged, to grab their attention into it. So yeah, that was it most of all. This is RAG integrated as well with semantic chunking. So what do I mean by semantic chunking? There are multiple procedures of using RAG, right? For this particular scenario, maybe there is a better one. But for this particular scenario, what has dawned upon me is to use semantic chunking, so that I can keep the code altogether completely fine like it should be, so that I'm not missing any parenthesis, or let's say a particular semicolon isn't getting missed when I'm asking the AI LLM for something. It will be able to provide the complete context of it based on the code base that I have and its recommendations as well. So uh, this was the little POC that I actually thought about. It started from mind map. I was very intrigued to use d3.js. Last year, actually, we had a project where the client wanted to integrate d3.js. I did not know it myself, how to integrate it. So it's by that opportunity I got to explore it, and I fell in love with it. So wanted to do something on a similar line, but with time it progressed and increased into these many tools with these many suggestions that could be done. And I'm like truly thankful to the organization that I belong to and the organizers as well for providing me the stage to showcase something that I have built. So that's very important that I feel. That's all from my side. Thanks.